You're listening to another episode of the Just Go Bike podcast, powered by RAGBRAI. This is the award-winning podcast where we are all about the culture of cycling, just for the fun of it. Your hosts are Murph from the Murphology podcast and AP from Parrot Talk. With tales from all over the nation, come for the bikes, stay for the fun, and leave with a smile. And now here is Murph.
Hey, that's me.
And AP.
Hey, that's me.
Hey there, AP.
Hi, Murph.
I am sitting here in my podcast studio dreaming about summer. How about you?
Yeah, me too. I'm in Parrot Talk Studios, and out the window I can see trees that look like sticks, a heavy layer of snow. I mean, everything is covered in ice. It's just the opposite of RAGBRAI weather.
Yeah.
It's so cold. I know some of it. I've talked a little bit on the podcast about my dog Bart. He's a golden retriever, so he loves the snow like more than anything else. But it's so cold out that even Bart doesn't want to stay out that long.
Oh my gosh! Well, that says a lot about the temps.
Yeah. Yep.
I know. We are recording this in early December, and it was just a couple days ago that when we woke up, it was in the negative degrees, and that was before the wind chill.
Yeah. That's not fair. Like, usually, I know it gets cold in winter in Iowa, but I feel like that should be like a January, February type of temp, not December.
I know, yeah. But, that just means more quality time on the indoor trainers for people that do that.
That's right. And speaking of the trainer, we're starting our Zwift rides again.
That's right. So if you're planning to ride RAGBRAI in 2026, which will be RAGBRAI 53, there's no better time than right now to think about biking and get on that saddle.
Yeah. And of course, there's all sorts of different ways to ride indoors, all different trainers. Obviously, I recommend that you take your pick of whatever you think works best for you. But if you happen to use the virtual world of Zwift to get your indoor training miles, you might as well join us.
Yes. So if you go into the Zwift community, find the clubs tab and look for RAGBRAI LIII. Join the club, and then once you're in the club, you'll see, I think you can see little messages and also events. So it's sign up and let's ride together.
Yeah, our first ride will be December 8th at 6 p.m. Central, so that's a Monday. Mm-hmm. Our rides, they tend to be kind of random days, just whenever we're both available to host the ride.
Yeah.
But we'll try to get into some sort of rhythm of at least having them once a week as we get closer to the ride.
Yep. And this is a virtual ride where, regardless of your skill level, we all stay together. So you can ease your way into training, or you can go all out. I saw our super fan, Scott Olson, is signed up to be in our Zwift on Monday the 8th. And I can guarantee you his skill level is much, much higher than me or you.
He would smoke us in a real race. And in fact, we prefer to draft behind him in real life. So, but thank goodness for Zwift having the rubber band function where we all stay together. So
it's fun because we stay in a group and it's just a good way to support each other.
And by the way, we're not sponsored by Zwift in any way. It's just the platform that we've selected to use for our indoor training. It just happens to be what it is. And also, side note, this conversation reminds me that we need to coordinate our outfits virtually on Zwift so that we match.
That's right.
So let's check in about that offline.
Yes. And speaking of indoor training, I know that you are not an outdoor biker in the wintertime, right?
Right.
Yeah. But tomorrow, if you're listening to this episode when it actually goes live, tomorrow, December 6th, is Global Fat Bike Day. Did you know this? Are you celebrating?
I only knew it because I saw your social media post about it. I'm not celebrating because I unfortunately do not own a fat bike, although I support those who do.
Yeah. And the cool thing about Global Fat Bike Day is it's global. So a lot of bigger communities have some sort of event for Global Fat Bike Day. And here in Cedar Rapids, I host an event with a local bike shop and then also the nonprofit that raises money for trails. And we are doing an event tomorrow, and it's going to be snowing. Plus, all the trails have probably a good 12 inches of snow, and they've been groomed. So it's going to be so much fun.
You all are going to have a blast. I mean, as you were talking about that, it made me think a lot of people, they just really dread the snow. They don't like the snow. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes I even think that way, but this is a great way to embrace the winter weather that we have in the Midwest and just really get out there and enjoy it and get some fresh air. I can't wait to see all your pictures and videos from the event.
Yeah, it should be fun. And if you're out there and you have a fat bike, if you can come to Cedar Rapids, come join us. There's an event on Facebook. But more importantly, if you're near a bigger community, if you just Google Global Fat Bike Day, you can typically find events that hopefully are close by. And if you live in Florida, I mean, lucky you. You don't even have to worry about you don't have to worry about any snow.
Take your fat bike down to the Everglades or wherever.
Yeah. Well, watch out for gators, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So today we wanted to chat about what's called the RAGBRAI Community Fund.
Yeah. The RAGBRAI Community Fund is a part of our what we do that gives back money to the communities and organizations in Iowa that we want to support. Mm-hmm. We pick a different one every single year. Last year it was Honor Flight Network, but this year it is the Iowa Community Bike Shops, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But basically, when you register for RAGBRAI, you have a chance to give back to these really special organizations that make our community as cool as it is. I mean, they really help bring the color to our world of cycling. So we appreciate them, and we love to be able to highlight them at least one per year.
And like you said, this past RAGBRAI, the beneficiary was the Honor Flight Network. And together, meaning all of you out there who registered for RAGBRAI and donated, together we were able to raise over $40,000 that went directly to the Iowa chapters of the Honor Flight Network. So cool.
Yeah, it was super special. That was a great way to support the veterans of Iowa. But this year we're supporting Iowa's community bike shops, like I said. So any money that you donate during registration will go to these community bike shops, and there are 6 of them throughout Iowa. Mm-hmm. And these bike shops, they make cycling accessible to everyone. That's their main goal. And they all do it a little bit differently, and we're going to tell you all about that. But they recycle donated bicycles. They also promote learning and self-sufficiency by providing things like tools, workspaces, tutorials, or mentorship for people who help so that you can learn how to service your bicycle, no matter how much money you might or might not make. And they're all sustained through the sale or rental of refurbished bicycles and donations from people like us. Mm-hmm.
So we're going to highlight, there are 6 community bike shops that are represented in the Community Fund for 2026, and we wanted to highlight each one of them. And I know next year in 2026, we'll probably be doing a full episode on each of these shops because there's so much to share, and we want to kind of meet the people who work there. But we wanted to give you an overview today.
Yeah, the people who work in the shops are really what make them so super cool. I mean, and what they do as well. But they have so many different cool personalities, and we can't wait to share those with you. Before we really deep dive into this, I want to explain how you can donate to the community fund in these bike shops. Basically, you can do it during RAGBRAI registration. So just during the registration process, there'll be an option to donate, and then a little blurb about whatever amount of money you would like to contribute, what it would go towards. So you have a concrete idea of where your money is going to go. You could also, if you have already registered or if you're not able to ride RAGBRAI this year, but you still want to contribute, you can go to ragbrai.com/gives, and it'll tell you all about the program, all about the different bike shops, all the different community bike shops, and there'll be a link to donate there.
Okay, should we get into them?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Okay, so first up is the Iowa City Bike Library, and I got to see this facility firsthand when I interviewed these gals. Was it maybe a couple years ago? I love their theme, which is get a bike, give a bike, ride a bike, fix a bike. So that right there kind of gives you a highlight of what they do. Their facility is huge, and they have kind of like I might not be saying this right, but like a hands-off approach, meaning if you want to learn how to fix your bike, somebody will be there to help you, but they don't actually touch your bike. So they give you the instruction, which, how cool is that? Like, if you have a flat tire on the side of the road and the Air Force people pull up, you can watch them fix the tire. But if you have time and you're at a workbench where somebody's telling you how to do it, that's going to help you a lot in the future. But anyway,
that's right.
So the Iowa City Bike Library started back in 2004 as a volunteer-run community bike project in Iowa City with a mission, pretty obvious, get more people on bikes. So they have definitely grown tremendously since then. And, they repair bikes that are donated. They let the public come check them out. And then, like I mentioned, they also have like workbenches, tools, and all that good stuff. So you could go in there and fix your own bike.
Yeah. I consider the Iowa City Bike Library to be my home community bike shop because I used to live in Iowa City. And that was back in the day when they first started, in the early 2000s. And they have come a long way. And I'm so proud of everything they've done for the bike community in Iowa City and the surrounding area. And shout out to my little brother, David, who I know is involved in volunteering there. So,
cool.
Super cool one to start off with.
Yeah.
The next one up is what would now be considered my home community bike shop because I now live in Des Moines, and it's the Street Collective. And it's kind of interesting because obviously they don't have bicycle in their name, but their mission is surrounding affordable and accessible transportation all through the city of Des Moines. Obviously, bikes are a huge part of that, and they've been a huge part of making sure that there's accessible bike lanes and bicycles for people, but I love their all-encompassing approach. Yeah, so they have a couple different things that they do surrounding cycling that really make a big difference in the area, including bike giveaways to like kids and families and free maintenance with education along with it. They also do like a community bike share and, like I said, a bike shop. But then a lot of things that you'll be able to see in Des Moines if you come and visit are they do a lot of bike infrastructure and bike racks. And you can see that in the RAGBRAI office itself. They have installed a bike rack outside of our office. And they also do bike valet for almost every large community event that you would go to in Des Moines. You'll see them out there where you can bike to these events and feel comfortable that your bike won't get stolen during that time. So it's really, really, really nice. I know that I've been going on for a long time, but they also do regional maps of Des Moines, which I've used myself when I first moved here because there are a lot of trails here. Yeah. And it helps you be able to navigate that without having to try to check Google Maps every 10 minutes. And
Des Moines is a big, big community, especially if you put all the towns that are connected to it, like.
Absolutely.
Des Moines and West Des Moines sound the same, but they are different communities.
They're not, and they're both very large. So
they're both very large,
And they're also active in advocacy, but they do so much for our community. It's a really cool one of the community bike shops that we're highlighting today.
Cool. Okay, next we go to my home community, which is Cedar Rapids, and it's the Chain Reaction Bike Hub. I've also had the pleasure of getting to go to this facility. It's a huge space that it's only been around for a couple years, but they are quickly filling it up with donations. So anyway, they work with equity and access, meaning they want, regardless of your financial situation, they are all about making sure that bikes or transportation options are affordable and reliable. And then, of course, they do plenty of community engagement, sustainability. I like that they do a lot of education and empowerment. I see it a lot on my social media feed that they're always doing workshops to learn, how to do things on a bike, learning how to ride a bike, which as an adult, can you imagine if you didn't know how to ride a bike, how intimidating that would be?
Yeah, absolutely. But it should not be embarrassing, but it could be intimidating.
Yeah. And especially if you're at a financial place where you are not going to have a vehicle where, I need to have a bike to get around and I don't know how to ride it. Like, that's why these programs are so important. So, and then like you mentioned with Des Moines and of course with Iowa City too, they work with advocacy and policy because they're trying to make the community more bike friendly with policies, with infrastructure, bike lanes, all of that good stuff. And I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of all three of these because I know them pretty well.
Yeah. So moving on to the fourth one, we have the Cedar Valley Bicycle Collective in Waterloo, which is just to your north. But they're a group of volunteers in both Waterloo and Cedar Falls that their goal is to support and encourage cycling in the Cedar Valley, which is also a really cool place to ride. And they also have a lot of cool bike facilities and infrastructure, a lot of it in great part due to initiatives like this. So they're open a couple days a week, 3 days a week, and they offer different services like accepting donated bikes, hosting education clinics, having the opportunity to earn or build your own bike. Or you could just use their workbench and repair stands for like a really small fee. And then of course they sell bikes, used bikes and bike parts. So it's another one that's really cool. It's aimed at making sure that anyone can get on a bike. I think any one of us who has gotten into riding bikes that would be appropriate to ride on RAGBRAI knows that they can be very expensive. And I just hate that that's a barrier for some people to have to face to try to ride a bike. So I just really appreciate these types of programs so much that, a lot of people, they get their bike and, they finally save up and they pay for it. And then they get a flat and they just feel like they can't use it because they don't know how to then repair it. Well, head on over to the Cedar Valley Bicycle Collective and they'll help you out, figure out how to do it. So I just really love all these different types of programs.
Yeah. Okay, so next up we go north of Des Moines to the community of Ames, and there is a bike shop called We Cycle. And this is a place I've never been to before, so I am pretty pumped that we're going to do an episode featuring them next year because I want to learn more. But in general, what they do is they safely redistribute used and refurbished bicycles. So they actually work on the bicycles to unhoused people or at-risk members of the community. So again, they're just empowering people to be able to move around their community with these used and refurbished bikes.
Yeah, I can think about all sorts of obstacles that would be just a little easier to overcome if you were unhoused, if you had a bicycle that was functioning and, decent. So that is so cool. Rounding out our list is the Dubuque Bike Co-op, which they often refer to as the co-op, but wanted to make sure that it was clear that it was in Dubuque. It was founded back in 2012, so that's pretty cool. They've been around for a long time, and they just saw a need for a cooperative in Dubuque to help people get on bikes, kind of the same theme that we've been going over and over again. But it's really neat. We have quite a big pocket up in that northeast section of Iowa of community bike shops that are helping people get around town and have this safe, effective transportation option that really everyone should have access to. So it's pretty neat.
Pretty cool. So like you mentioned, when you register for RAGBRAI, you can definitely make a monetary donation that goes into the community fund. And then after RAGBRAI, they get distributed to all of these bike shops. But it's also pretty easy if you've got your garage shelf full of bike stuff, whether it's old bags or parts, that you can donate to one of these bike shops. And if you don't have that, you can also volunteer your time. So all of those.
Be honest though, what long-term cyclist doesn't have a big bag of extra parts and stuff that they could donate? I really think you probably do have something.
I'm raising both my hands to that one. For sure.
I know I do.
So.
And again, if you want to learn more about everything, I know we kind of glossed over some of them. Go to ragbrai.com/gives. You can find links to all their different social media pages or websites and learn more there. Or, as Murph mentioned, just stay tuned because we're going to be featuring them as we get closer to RAGBRAI. So can't wait to learn more about all these different organizations.
Yep. And I just looked at the temperature. It's now a balmy 20 degrees here in Cedar Rapids. So you know what that means. It's time to bundle up and go for a ride.
Okay. Well, if you get in trouble, let me know. I'll drive over and help you out, dig you out.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week for another great episode. So thanks, everyone.
Yep. Stay warm and just go bike.
Well, listeners, that is it for today. We want to thank you for tuning in to listen to the Just Go Bike podcast. If you would like to contact Murph and AP with a comment about the podcast, or maybe even you have a topic in mind, you can reach us at justgobikepodcast@gmail.com. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook and watch our intros on YouTube. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast, especially if you're a fan. That is going to do it for this week. Until next time,
Just go bike.
Theme song by Ryan Steer, logo by Suzanne Milosevic, produced by Kathy Murphy, social media by Andrea Parrott, intro by Pumpkin. Until next time, just go bike.